Wow, this place is beautiful. I could walk here all day admiring the amazing views and breathing in the fresh mountain air. There's only one problem though. It kind of really, really smells here. And I think I know where it's coming from. So this is the culprit. Wow, look at that. The locals call it Circassia, which means, wait for it, and in Russian it's known as Golubaya ozero, which means blue lake, and you can really see that the water has a lovely, beautiful, magic blue colour about it. Now, believe it or not, this is the most famous lake in the Kabardino-Balkaria Republic in the Caucasus Mountains, 1,500 kilometres to the south of Moscow.
There is a legend regarding the origin of this lake. Local people say that a young, beautiful princess once lived there. She fell in love with a shepherd, but a neighbouring prince also liked her. In his jealousy, he threw the shepherd into the abyss. The princess cried because of his death and filled the abyss with her tears. And as her love was pure and her eyes blue, that's how the water in the lake got its colour.
But the story says nothing about what happened to the body of the lover, but judging by the smell, I think it's still here. Only joking. It's actually hydrogen sulfide which gives the water its smell and its specific colour. And it's also the reason why this lake is almost dead. The only thing you'll see here is algae and possibly numerous scuba divers, as there is a diving centre operating here on the lake. Why dive here, though? Now, according to numerous legends, the bottom of the lake should be piled up with treasure from lost centuries ago, Soviet monuments, military equipment, and even cars. But is it really there? Well, nobody actually knows. And this small lake is a staggering 258 metres deep, the same height as 4 Big Bens. This is the deepest karst lake in the whole of Russia and the second deepest in Europe. And these guys here have been as low as 150 metres. Pretty incredible. And it may surprise you to learn that I am a bit of an experienced diver myself, so I'm going to see if I can meet them now.
The first deep dive in the lake, 120 metres, is dated back to the year 2002. And after this, they thought about opening a permanent dive centre here. Now, we can see the result. They arrange courses for different diving certificates, but you can come here even if you are a complete novice.
And the centre has all the necessary equipment. Now, an average dive, renting out all the equipment, etc., costs 1,500 rubles, which is around $60. Good price, although it does depend on the time of dive and the depth that you go. Now, all this talk about diving has made me want to have a go myself. I'm going to get changed. You wait there. How do you like my outfit? Black is this season's colour. This is Edward here. He's my dive buddy. I'll give you these. Okay. Okay. Right. He's going to check and set up all the equipment, and I'm going to let you know some information. The water here is meant to be very, very cold. I'm totally crazy. In fact, it's just 9 degrees throughout the entire year. And instead of wearing a dry suit, I'm wearing a very, very thick, full-body wetsuit. I have a feeling that this dive is going to be very short.
Okay, wish me luck. One of the founders of the centre, Roman Prohorov, was the first man to ever dive in the Blue Lake. He completed his first dive in 1982 using only self-made diving equipment, and he managed to reach the depth of 70 metres without any proper wetsuit at all. I wonder how he survived. For example, when the aqualung inventor Jacques-Yves Cousteau explored the deepest karst lake in Europe, Vaucluse, it took him and his team 9 years and 80 attempts to descend 74 metres.
Wow! Oh, that was absolutely fantastic! Thank you very much.
take a look at this. There's not really that much to look at, but I did find a coin. Obviously somebody's thrown it in to make a wish, and actually it's famous in Russia. If you want to return to a place, you actually throw a coin, and hopefully you'll then return one day. Here we go.
The Blue Lake attracts divers from all over Russia, and all of them stay in Nalchik, the capital of Kabardino-Balkaria, as it's situated just 60 kilometres from the lake. Nalchik was founded as a military fortress in 1818 during the Caucasian War. This war lasted more than half a century, and the aim of the Russian state was to take over the North Caucasus and the tribes living there. But some areas, including that of Nalchik, already belonged to Russia at the time.
This local landmark is called Maria Square. That's because of this monument. In 1557, the Kabars, who were originally from this area, joined Russia, and to strengthen ties, their Princess Koshchene married Ivan the Terrible. She was to become his second wife, lucky her. Later she was baptised as Maria, and she's known under this name in Russian history. This statue was erected 50 years ago to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the Union. And you know what? I think it looks a little bit like the Statue of Liberty.
As for the other title nationality of the Republic, the Balkars moved to the Caucasus only in the 13th century, and they also voluntarily joined Russia, but this happened only in 1827.
The Kabars and Balkars correspondingly make up 55% and 11% of the population. But regardless of the fact that they've been living together literally for centuries, both are completely different nationalities, and their languages strive from different families. However, both are Sunni, and you'll find beautiful mosques here in Nalchik.
Today, of course, not only these nationalities live in the region, Russians count for as much as 25% of the population, and there are 3 official languages here: Russian, Kabardian and Balkar.
As for the capital of the Republic, once being the administrative military centre, Nalchik started to develop as a resort from the 1960s, and at that time lots of new large buildings such as these were constructed, changing the face of Nalchik. However, they hid the original traditional houses behind them, and even today if you turn from the main road you will see such views. Okay, so these houses are very, very old, and some of them are even falling apart, but I think these have so much more character and history. Oh well, c'est la vie.
I wonder how these houses survived the Second World War, as this city was occupied by the enemy and it could have been completely destroyed.
The only answer? They didn't have enough time, just 2 months, and this was the first tank to enter the city, and on the 3rd of January 1943, Nalchik was freed. This park is over 150 years old, and it also survived the war, and it's the pride of Nalchik. Today, it's said to be one of the best parks in the whole of Russia, and it's spread over a quarter of the city.
In this part of the city, there is not even a single block of residential houses. This is a territory of numerous resort institutions and health centres, and no cars are allowed here.
Have you ever heard of Terenkur? Well, I hadn't until I came here to Nalchik. It's actually a therapy prescribed to patients. Go out and have a lovely long walk into the park. Be surrounded by lovely nature and breathe in the fresh, crisp air. Sounds like common sense to me, and I'm sure it's just an excuse to get the patients out of the building for a few hours. You know what? It really is nice and relaxing here. There are several lakes in the park, a small fairground, peace and quiet. It's a really, really nice holiday resort. I love it. Although instead of diving in the lake here, I think I'm going to catch some rays instead. Excuse me. Nice. Now I have to go on this. With the help of this funky yet rather scary looking cable car, you can enjoy great views from the top of Mount Elbrus.
Actually, Nalchik is surrounded by mountains on 3 sides, which is similar to the shape of a horseshoe, and that's how Nalchik received its name.
Kazilovka takes its name from the tree which grows up here, and this is the highest point in the city centre. This little cable car ride costs just 50 rubles, which is around $2, and it lasts just 7 minutes. And just look at the colours of these beautiful trees. Way! There we go. Strange architecture, isn't it? This building shows the head of a local epic hero called Sosruko. He brought fire to the people, and that's why he's holding a torch. Inside, there's also meant to be a really good restaurant, just in time, as I'm really, really hungry. Okay, so what do we have here? Interesting menu. Goat, dog, shark. Of course, I'm only joking. But tasting traditional cuisine has recently become a hobby of mine, as well as learning how to prepare it. So I'm going to attempt to cook a dish called lagour, and it's a hot meal using dry beef. This is Aslan here. Thank you very much for letting me join your kitchen. And he's one of the head chefs here at the restaurant. And this meal is actually one of the favourite local dishes. Let's hope it's not too complicated. And first of all, it looks like we're chopping some very, very dry meat. Aslan, may I try? Okay. Looks a little bit like beef jerky. Okay. Now, first of all, the beef was salted, and then it was dried outside and smoked for around 6 hours. Kind of smells quite nice. Now, the meat is then added into a frying pan. Oh, there we go. Let's take that off, and it has a large cup of water in it. It's then taken over to the heat and boiled for 15 minutes. Now, the meat is normally served with this. Aslan Stoeta, what is this?
Pushino.
Pushino. Kind of looks a bit like couscous. And kak dolga, how long is it in the water for? Okay, boiling for about 20-25 minutes. Okay. Now, once the water has evaporated, you add 100 grams of butter to the meat, and the beef is then fried. Aslan, do you have the butter? Okay, great.
When the couscous is almost ready, they add semolina to it. Strange mixture.
Now, it's actually best to stir this in one direction only, clockwise or anti-clockwise. There we go. Aslan, so far so good. It's ready? Great. Very interesting. This pushino here looks a little bit like mashed potato. I'll go and wait upstairs in the restaurant and await my feast.
All these people have been in the spotlight. Who is it going to be today? Daily, every 4 hours, Spotlight.
Thank you very much. Great, spasiba. Now, this is the perfect example of Kabardino-Balkarian cuisine, and it may look a little bit plain, but let's see what it tastes like. Here we go. Okay, here we go. It's really, really nice. The meat is really tender. Let's try some of this. Very nice. And it's interesting that they don't add any herbs. Traditionally, only salt and varieties of pepper are added to give flavour. Excuse me, I'm going to eat some more.
Many traditions of the Caucasian nationalities are alive today, and not only in food. It's a well-known fact that Caucasian people are just crazy about singing and dancing.
Today you can see traditional dances on stage, and I'm going to join the rehearsal of one of the most famous dance companies here in Kabardino-Balkaria. And it's easy to remember what it's called, as the name comes from the Republic Kabardinka. Okay, there's the other boot. I'll just put on the collar. kind of tight though. This is what a traditional costume would have looked like. And you can see that they're actually quite plain, just 2 or 3 colours, and they're very neat and tidy. And that this belt is very, very, very tight. It's to make sure that you have good posture, and I think it works. And if you take a look here, originally there would have been real bullets here. The guys were natural hunters and could easily lose their temper. Check out this sword. Oh, I forgot my hat. Now take a look at these hats. Pretty incredible. They're actually worn by men and women, and they're a very, very important part of the national dress. This one here was for the man, and believe it or not, but actually people still wear these today, even when they're eating. I'll keep that for later. If you take a look at this, this is very, very funny. This is also part of the national dress, very, very long sleeves, and they actually use this a lot in the choreography. Speaking of which, I'm going to check out the dancing upstairs.
The company was founded in 1934, and since then they've visited more than 30 countries around the world and won many, many prizes. They perform dances not only of Kabards, but also of Balkars and other Caucasian nationalities. And in this way they promote the history and culture from this mountain area in different parts of the world.
This looks absolutely incredible, and just take a look at these beautiful costumes. And you can actually judge the nationality's characteristics just by looking at the dance moves. They're very strong, precise and graceful. And obviously the guys here are in charge. I think this is an easy move.
This dance is called Uj Puch, and it's one of the oldest and most favourite of the locals.
Now this dance is performed by noble men and women. Sounds good to me. There we go. Now actually you may think this is quite easy, but the feet are very, very tricky, and there's lots of arms at the same time. Oh, here we go.
It's danced at the end of the festivals, when the boys and girls have already made acquaintance with each other. Now they can hold hands and speak to each other. It's the only dance which allows them to do so.
Who needs Ring a Ring of Roses when you've got the dance like this? Here we go. Woo, here we go. Working up a sweat. Oh, well, that was great fun.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Would you like a job?
A job?
Yeah.
I'd love a job, but unfortunately, I've got exploring to do. Thank you very much. Do swidania. Okay.
Many hiking and mountaineering routes lie in Kabardino-Balkaria. The highest peak of Europe, Elbrus, is situated in the Republic. From here, they can reach all the other 5,000-metre mountains of the Caucasus. And it's not necessary to be a hiker. Anyone can enjoy the beautiful scenery.
Balkars have always lived in the mountains. Behind me you can see the walls and a tower which used to be part of a fortress. It was allegedly built in the 17th century to protect the Balkars from any potential enemies. Sadly, all you can see today are the ruins and several intrigued cows. And as for this bridge, it's so rusty. I also think it was built in the 17th century. I'm going to get off it fast. This place is so beautiful. It's really the mountains which are the main sites in Kabardino-Balkaria. And all the geographical names here are taken from the Balkar language. And this gorge is called Chugem, which means the place where the land collapsed. And it really looks like it. Totally cool. Now, this rock is actually limestone, as millions of years ago there used to be a sea here. And as it is rather soft and also fragile, it cannot keep the water flowing inside it. So the result are these pretty waterfalls trickling out the side of the mountain. Nice.
Why is it that in beautiful tourist sites and places like this there are always people selling useless things? Tacky and kitsch. I love it.
Ladies, I'll just sit next to my two babushkas here. Привет! Hello! Что это?
Кофточка. Вот такая кофточка.
Скажите, пожалуйста, как долго? How long does it take?
Один день, за один день.
Really?
Один день, да.
1 day it takes to do this. Very impressive. In fact, all the wool here is absolutely traditional, using wool from the local sheep, and even some of the women actually spin the thread themselves. Можно? Can I try? Okay. Трудно, it's difficult. Okay. I'll let you do it. You're better. Lucia. Okay.
If you go in another direction from Nalchik to the southwest, you'll get to the Elbrus Reserve. It covers a large area of more than 1,000 square kilometres.
Here we are, and I'm sure I can hear the two peaks of Mount Elbrus calling my name. The western peak is 5,642 metres, and I wonder how high I'll get to. Place your bets now. And in fact, Mount Elbrus is known under many different names in the local languages. Eternal Mountain, Snowy Main, Mountain of Happiness, and Mountain of Spirit. I can't wait to take a closer look.
The first ascent to the lower summit was in 1829. It was successfully achieved by Kila Hashirov, a Kabard guide for a Russian scientific expedition. As for the highest summit, it was ascended only in 1874 by a British expedition led by an 80-year-old Balkar guide, Ahir Satayev.
So you can see that I've got changed into my groovy, if not slightly baggy mountaineering outfit, and I'm here at the starting point. It's 2,200 metres above sea level. Everything that you need is here. You've got cafes, restaurants, and let's not forget the tourist tack. Let's try this on. What do you think? Not my colour? No. I think I'll come back for this later. The only thing, though, is I don't think it's that responsible of me to go mountaineering by myself. No, definitely not. I'm going to go to the bar and see if I can find some company. Excuse me, guys. Do you speak English?
Yes, a little.
Ah, you do. Great. I'm Martin.
Andrew.
Hey, nice to meet you. Hey. By any chance, are you going up to the mountain today?
Yes.
You are? Great. Do you mind if I join you?
Yes.
Cool. And if I go by myself, I don't think I'll ever come back alive. Great. Thanks very much. At last, I found somebody. Now, cable cars make life a lot easier, but not just for skiers who come here in the winter. They're also useful if you're a hiker or climber wanting to start your journey off in higher levels. But typical. The cable car isn't working today because of electrical repairs. But not to worry, my new friends here have found another means of transport. Rusty old truck. Hey guys, there you go. Great. Cool. Okay. Great, let's go. Who needs cable cars? Always a great tour in Russia. Forward.
Mountaineering was and still is very popular in Russia. Out of 100,000 tourists that come to Kabardino-Balkaria every year, about 20% enjoy mountaineering and climbing in the Caucasus.
Okay, so let's see what we have in here. Well, first of all, we've got another coat because the higher we get, it definitely gets more cold. Put that there. We've got a harness and a system of ropes, pulleys and ascenders to make sure that we're joined together nice and safely. We've got a hard hat. And we've also got some spikes which we place underneath our shoes to give us better grip on the snow and ice. We've got everything like these ice axes and ice sticks. And I think that's that. It's all a bit complicated, isn't it? Okay. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. You can see the eastern and western peaks here. It's just 400 metres between them. I'm sure they're closer than I probably think they are. I've been walking up this mountain all day long. I've been walking up this mountain all day long. Well, you can see that the guys have decided to take the somewhat more dramatic and dangerous route. I thought I was only meant to be mountaineering or hiking today, but oh no, it turns out that we're now climbing up this scary-looking mountain. with treacherous snow. Gosh, okay. And this is almost impossible. And you'll see that we've got this rope which is connecting all of us. I think I need it. And in case this happens, the other two are meant to deploy their axe like that into ground. And hopefully this is meant to stop the fall. Why do I do this? Okay, guys, let's go. We're climbing out this mountain all day long. Tired, cold and hungry. This is wrong. I am tired, cold and hungry. This is wrong. This is a lot harder than you think. This isn't mountaineering. This is an extreme sport. I'm out of breath. And the higher you get, really the thinner the air becomes. And it's about -10. And my arms and hands and face and legs, I'm absolutely freezing. And I've been told that actually, many people every year get lost while climbing up here. It's actually serious business. It's hard work. Okay, let's try. Guys, I need help here. You know what? Just leave me here. Civilization. Thank goodness I'm alive. Actually, these guys aren't mountaineers. They're actually mountain rescuemen. Thank you very much. That was absolutely difficult. Right, I'm going to leave you to it, and I think I'd better go home. I need a drink. Don't worry, I'm absolutely fine. I'll let the guys get on with it. I'll take the truck back down. And what a place this has been. I can honestly say this has been my favourite place throughout the whole of Russia. And if you think of what I've seen, diving into lakes, tasty food, city parks, resorts, waterfalls, the list really does go on and on and on. And you probably even hadn't heard of Kabardino-Balkaria before today's programme. Well, now you do. And I think this place is absolutely amazing. Just like these views.